Hello there. Someone asked me yesterday what we can do at these public meetings to make sure crazy conspiracy theorists and sovereign citizens aren't there taking over, yelling and screaming and making everything unruly. And it's a really interesting question because there's no one methodology that we can use to stop this from happening. We can't stop people from going to these meetings. That's kind of the point of freedom of speech and freedom of expression. And as soon as you start telling people that they can't show up because of what they believe, you have really big problems on your hands. At the same time, when they're there, they don't generally want to listen anyway. So a strong moderator is a really good thing to have in place if you want to get rid of people who are causing problems because they're just not listening, they're being disruptive, they're causing issues. One of the coolest little tricks I found recently was if you've got somebody in an audience that you're trying to get rid of or trying to make them feel awkward, literally just sit there and stare at them in silence for about 10 seconds. It makes them uncomfortable and they stop talking, usually. But you also have to remember that the people that you're dealing with are the same kind of people who can't tell the difference between opinions and facts, and they get really passionate about that. Their opinion to them is more important than an actual provable fact. And we've seen that in the last couple of weeks with things like Brian Tamaki and his crowd claiming that there are puberty blockers, a very restricted item that is only sold by prescription over the counter at a pharmacy, saying that they're on sale for everybody at the warehouse. Or people like Helen Houghton and the rest of the New Conservatives and Voices for Freedom crowd getting all up in arms about a whangarei girls' school that claimed that there was kitty litter boxes so that people could dress up who identified as cats, which was completely false, but that hasn't stopped them from jumping online and claiming that it's true and getting worked up and angry about it, because they think that their opinion and facts are the same thing. Just for the heart of learning out there, they are not the same thing. You know who you are. You know who I'm talking to. Your opinion is not a fact. Making sure that you've got facts, though, when you go to these meetings is really important, because that way you can sit there and debunk any claims that get made. You can point out to other people what the facts are and what the evidence is that prove those facts. You can back up other speakers or you can debunk other speakers, depending on what it is that they're saying and how much that they're spreading bullshit. One of the other things to remember that's really common with these people is that they'll mix in opinion with a fact. So it feels like one's justifying the other. If you can separate the two at these meetings when you're going out to talk to people, interact with people, that's a really good way of making sure that you basically draw a line in the sand and say, look, we're here to discuss facts. I want to base my vote on facts. I want to base my next step on facts, not on opinions, because opinions are like, well, you know the rest of the saying. I'm not going to say it in case I get censored here. So yeah, if you're going to these meetings and you're a little concerned about these groups, make sure you are armed with facts. Make sure that you're not afraid to stand up and tell them to go away, get out, and try and make sure that these meetings have a really strong moderator to ensure that those particular people get shut down and shunted out as quickly as possible so they're not disrupting other people who are there for legitimate reasons.